afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my co-star, Judy Loge.
I was saying how nice you look today, Audrey. You always
Thank
do,
you
but
so
you look
much.
especially lovely this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So do you, Judy.
And it's a Monday, so...
Definitely a Monday. We're definitely in the throes of winter.
Yeah, we're ready.
Though the dates do not prove that we're in winter as of yet, but we have a great show lined up for our viewers, and that's the main thing. And we usually start off with a quote of the day, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And it is my turn to come up with something inspiring or thought-provoking today. And I came across this quote this morning, actually. I like my quotes to come inspirational as I start that day.
You always have a great quote.
Yeah,
I like your
something.
quotes very much.
So this one I came across this morning, and it tells everyone, the biggest lesson I've learned this year, because this year's coming to an end.
It is so.
Right? 1 month left. The biggest lesson I've learned this year is not to force anything, whether it's conversations, friendships, relationships, attention, or love. Anything forced is just not worth fighting for. Whatever flows, flows, and what crashes, crashes. It is what it is. So that was my quote of today, and it just truly touched me in a way that, you know, you can't make someone love you. You can't make somebody, you know what I mean?
No,
like
you can't.
it's so much work, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth fighting for.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes, so as soon as I heard that quote and absorbed some of what the words were saying, my thought was, you don't force anything, but I sense sometimes or have an intuition into people that need to be talked to so that they can get the help that they need. Encouraged or drawn out. And it's not to pressure them or say, please tell me what's wrong with you so I can help you. But it's, I'm here if you need me, and I sense that something might not be right.
Exactly.
And
you have an intuition for that.
I certainly do. And if somebody is too quiet, you know, that if they're normally not too quiet, that there's probably something brewing underneath that they need to get out of their system. Yeah. And I've learned to, after being married to a physician for 30 years, know that when he comes in the door, if he is quiet, that it's the quiet time he needs, and I respect that.
That's
I
right.
don't say, how was your day? Was it a bad day? Was it a rough
No,
day? Because
exactly.
I already know it's probably a heavy day.
No, that's
so I
just
don't
it.
force it, and he can't talk about his work, but I just know to move on to something more pleasant and let him digest what might be bothering him.
And for all those moms or parents out there, when it comes to having teenage children as well, that's being able to read them and know when to push or force it a little bit more and when to just dial it back.
Let them be.
And let them, and let those conversations, just let them know that you're there for them regardless for those conversations, for that attention, and not to force it, and then they'll talk to you.
And I always say to my kids, you know how much your dad and I support you, that we're so proud of you, and we're always here for you. And I always say that to them, so they know.
That's good.
And your quote's wonderful.
Great.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. We have lots to talk about today. There was a lot of things going on here in Miramichi coming up this weekend, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. But we were both, along with our other co-star, Veronique Arsenault, we were at the Women of Influence Gala, their awards banquet this past weekend, and you were the MC. Again, did a marvelous, marvelous job.
Thank you, Audrey.
Yes, it was wonderful.
It's fun.
Actually.
It is definitely, you know, what can I say? I do it so often now that I guess I'm prepared, or I'm comfortable in that zone of being the MC for crowds. And you have to be that person that can carry a crowd. And sometimes you have a feel for the crowd that they're low key, and you have to get that vibe from them that you sometimes do not get. This was a very warm crowd.
It was.
And it's just like theater. When you
a lot
have your
more
crowd,
relaxed and easygoing.
yes,
for
you
sure.
can be yourself.
Yes. Definitely,
and I love to see the women and the men dressed so beautifully. It was just a lovely evening of celebrating fantastic women.
That's right.
They were so well spoken and so appreciative of their awards, and we were so proud of all of them. But it was just that the crowd was so appreciative as well. Like, not just you and I, but the people there. When for example, Tracy Bryanton spoke as Entrepreneur of the Year and got so emotional. Sometimes we don't see that side of people that you know in what their doubts are or their feelings
that they had any insecurities at all about themselves.
Like, and then they let it out.
They open up in a way that you don't normally get to see them in their everyday life. You think, oh, she's got it so good together. She runs a business. I wish I could be her because she's a rock. And then you realize that she's a lot like us. That all these women are a lot like ourselves, and we have our struggles as well.
Everybody does.
Yeah,
and I love that song by REM, Everybody Hurts. I think it's one of the most beautiful songs that has ever
It
been
is,
written
yeah.
by, which means rapid eye movement. You know, that's what their band's named after, REM.
Oh, okay.
Rapid eye movement.
Okay.
Wherever they came up with that, the
Okay.
deep sleep, I guess. They probably don't get any, but everybody does hurt. And
Yep.
so when he wrote
We all
that,
do have-
obviously he was trying to get it out to the whole, in a global way.
No,
There's
exactly.
nobody that doesn't have a bad day.
No, that's just it. And this organization putting on these awards for women of influence is it's in today's world, even way back then, but even in today's world, women do struggle a little bit harder, and we have to work a little bit harder for the most part because we are women to
Yes.
get ahead in life and to be, successful entrepreneurs or women of influence. And it's great to see an organization like this to recognize them
Yes.
and have a night for them.
You know what's neat is that I think when we look at other women and we admire other women, we bond. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we see
Yeah.
people up there, we're kind of united because we're all women and we all have the same, like you said, desires to be or desires to not do certain things, and we all have the same mindset kind of
Well,
thing.
that's just and that
We're
comes
women.
with I'm not going to say the bad word. It comes with age too, as well. And becoming a little more mature. It's not so high school where we look at other women as a
threat.
exactly as a threat. And now that we're getting older and more
Yes.
mature and more professional and
Yes.
work ethics and things like that, we can look up and look at each other
With
as-
awe and admiration.
exactly, and inspiration and goal setting and different things like that, and to have the mindset where women do support other women and pat each
I
other
see
on
that
the back.
all the time. It
I
rises
love
you,
seeing
it
that
raises
more and
us
more.
up to do that.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's just
What
it.
do you think are some of the? Let's use the word spice things up. What do you think are some of the sexiest qualities about another woman? When you look at another woman and see her, okay, say it's confidence, or what do you think makes a woman sexy? Not in a sexual, not in a sexual way.
No, I was going to say, I was like, define
not
sexy.
not in a
Attractive?
sexual way. Sexy or just something intriguing about that other person.
I would have to say, what makes them beautiful or attractive is confidence. I'd have to say is the number one thing to show that
Same.
confidence without being over.
Cocky.
Yes.
I'm going in the blanks for you, Audrey.
Yeah, no, that's
Because
not a
I'm
problem.
thinking like a woman like you are.
Yeah,
without
exactly.
being arrogant.
and things like that, and thinking that they're better than anybody else. But I'd have to say, someone who genuinely looks like they look after themselves physically as well as mentally and different things like that. Someone who treats themselves as well as treats others. I find all those admirable.
Me too. And I think one of the sexiest things a woman can ever do is play in a rock band. I think a woman, a female guitarist, is one of the things that I think.
That's a powerful moment for you.
My goodness.
Is it?
Yes. If I could do that, I think that I would be right in my element. If I could pick up an electric guitar and jam with a bunch of guys in a band and be the only woman. I love when I see female artists.
I didn't see that coming. I'm not going to lie.
I always watch for that. I always zone in on a female rock star. In an all-male band, and I think, wow, powerful.
Okay, so if you're going to go to that level, I can think in that realm as well. I would have to immediately go to female actresses playing a really strong role.
Yeah, and changing up their role sometimes from
Exactly.
going thin and having to gain 40 pounds
That's
for
right.
a movie.
No, or playing a character that really, really requires them to pull from within in order to portray them, and just that really, really inspires me, especially when you get to know what they're like off camera, and then to see them be totally someone different, and I find that very inspiring
Charlize
as
Theron
well.
was one of them.
She is.
Nicole Kidman's definitely another.
Yeah, there's a couple of good movies, and I'm a movie buff anyway, that I'm not gonna, names are gonna escape me, but I believe Jennifer Lopez is in.
She's so rounded,
And
that girl.
there's a couple of movies that are actually coming out, and unfortunately it's about a story that I'm sure happens all too often, and there's one, and I think they're both about sons who are addicted to drugs. And one is about the father's relationship with his son, and then the other one is the mother. Or no, it's not Jennifer Lopez. I'm lying.
But that's okay.
That's
the
awful.
subjects
Julia
are-
Roberts. I
Julia
apologize.
Roberts,
It's
no.
Julia Roberts.
She's
And
amazing.
yes. Oh, amazing actress. and to see her strength and to be able to pull that kind of emotion out and play this character, I can't imagine how hard.
She's pretty phenomenal. And you know
I
what?
can't wait
Of
to
all
see
the
it.
actresses that I've ever seen, she has the most beautiful smile of anybody.
She does.
She lights up a
does.
room. It's
pretty
it's just-
ever since Pretty Woman.
Wow.
Ever since.
Yeah, I'm going to
right?
see Pretty Woman in New York, actually.
Oh, are you? The play?
The play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
we're
I
talking
can't- I
about
can't
plays.
wait.
Yes, we're going to beautiful segue right there. There's a lot of Christmas plays and a lot of things happening here in Miramichi, and we want to make sure that you don't miss anything. So within the next month of our shows, if we get a chance to find out what's going on, we are definitely going to share that with you. Quickly, I wanted to share a Down Home Christmas is coming up this weekend, Saturday, December 1st at 7 p.m. at the Miramichi Fellowship Center in Blackville, and they're also doing a performance Sunday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. at the River of Life Assembly as well. So if you wanted to catch something or get a Christmas play and get
Very
in the
nice.
Christmas spirit, these plays that they put on, they put so much.
Beautiful.
So much effort into those, definitely. And then the musical coming up this weekend as well, Elf.
Elf.
The
Big talk
musical.
about Elf.
Yes, Rivermaid Productions, Mr. Gopi and his crew are putting on that play this coming weekend. The actors, the crew, the stagemen, they're all working so hard. My youngest daughter, Danae, is performing in this play.
Great.
She has a role, and then she has a few other roles as well. And so that's opening. The opening night is actually this Friday
Right.
night. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday day at 2, and then again at 7, and then Monday night as well. And I actually had, everybody knows that I own Sheer Heights Studio
Yes,
Hair
you do.
Salon, and we actually had a little, I had a little like and share for those who wanted to win a couple of tickets
Nice.
to opening night if they had shared this little video about the promotion I had going on for Black Friday. So I wanted to be able to draw that here live for you, and you, Judy, I'm going to get you to actually pick the name, and I can only hope that you can read my writing.
I will. And the thing is, so it's at James M. Hill.
James M.
Which is
Hill.
at Henderson Street in Miramichi
That's right.
East.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
So
James
these
Hill
are
High
for
School.
2 tickets for opening night.
All right.
This Friday.
And your writing is very clear. The
Is it?
winner of this ticket is Cecile Gauguin.
Congratulations,
Cecile, to you.
So you've won 2 tickets. You can pick them up at the salon this week, anytime this week at Sheer Heights Studio.
Sheer Heights Studio in Douglastown.
In Douglastown, yeah, 2281 King George Highway. So congratulations
Very
to
nice.
you, sweetie.
And it'll be a full jam-packed theater
will
because
be.
everybody comes out
They're
to support
expecting.
the youth for especially a Christmas
is.
musical.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is.
a
It's a
well-known
lot-
story.
Yep, it's a lot of work that these kids that put into this, and like I said, whether they're an actor on stage or the light or the sound, or it is so much work, and they put on such a great show.
Choreography.
Yep, the choreography, the music, the singing, the dancing, all of it, the costumes.
The costumes are big.
They can
Nancy
be really,
Carter's
really
probably
big.
doing them again, and a big shout out to Nancy for what
Yeah,
she does.
definitely. So there's a lot happening here in Miramichi this coming weekend that you want to check out. Get into the Christmas spirit and see some Christmas plays.
Yes, because we're yesterday was a month away from Christmas.
It is. It is. We're down we're down to the wire. We've got 4 weeks left.
I get a little panicky because I have my
Yeah.
tree up and I
Oh,
have
you do?
a lot of gifts
Okay.
bought. But
Oh, you do?
That's
Oh.
where it ends.
Oh, well,
I
that's
have
way
to-
ahead of me.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
way ahead
Yeah,
of me.
I
have
start
the
early.
salon decorated,
Beautiful.
right? I did that right after Remembrance Day.
Yes.
But I know my youngest daughter, I did bring her home the gingerbread house.
Ah, nice.
So she started on that.
Good.
She wanted something to do there. But we were driving home from the grocery store yesterday, she's looking in the windows, by the way, of all my neighbors and everyone down the street, and she's counting how many Christmas trees are up already and wondering why ours is not.
It will get there. We
Yeah.
do have time.
Yeah.
People do have time. I panic a little bit because I like to decorate, but we have to kind of step back and
Okay.
just take one thing at a time, like you said.
No, I have 2 trees. Do you do 1 or 2?
I usually do two,
Two,
and
okay.
one's smaller and one's larger.
Yeah.
It's my wrapping that I can't stand wrapping. I told you last year, I'd rather have a
I'm
root
not a big fan
canal.
of wrapping either.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not a fan of it. Someone should open a little business for
Yeah,
wrapping.
wouldn't be me.
They could no, wouldn't be me either. And I remember that used to be a thing at the mall when we had a mall, like
No.
an open mall. There
I
was
don't like it.
one of the different organizations would set up and they would wrap for donations for
And
their
that's a great
organization.
idea.
I
so
love
maybe somebody
that
out there
idea.
listening will do that.
Yes, definitely.
I want to wish my dad, who's going to be turning, I can't say his age because he's going to be watching the show, but he's having a birthday November 28th. And
okay.
so I want to wish Ivan Hallahan a big happy birthday. He's a rock in my life and a genuinely wonderful man, and so we'll be celebrating his birthday. And I have quite a few people actually celebrating birthdays in November, so I have to get those out of the way, not out of the way, but celebrated, gifts taken to them.
That's right.
And then move into the Christmas planning.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't like winter, but I do like some aspects of it. Like when we gather together and we're dining together and it's snowing out and we have a snow day as a family and we're all in the house together.
Yeah. Do you bake?
I do, but I do the simple things like sugar cookies and gingerbread
the easy
men.
ones. I'm there. That's me too.
Yeah, I don't like.
I
don't like sweets.
I did a big batch of frogs this morning in under like 10 minutes.
Nice.
You know, I like doing the Christmas Rice Krispie squares,
but
I drizzle icing on them and sprinkles.
So they're easy but fun and tasty.
Fast.
Do you have any special winter memories? Not Christmas memories so much, but anything as a young girl that stands out that you think, I wish I could go back to those days of childhood and
things that I remember from winter and being, I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like we had a lot of snow as a child. I feel like I remember opening the door and having to climb over the snowbank to get out.
Yes, we did.
And I'm not going to lie, school was very rarely canceled.
That's so
you
true.
climbed over the snowbank and you caught the bus.
Ask my mother, who's a teacher. She says, I can't believe how many school days that they don't have anymore. We never got that kind of a day. Rarely.
No.
But I lived out in an outdoor rink. Like the boys and girls that came
Skating?
from a huge neighborhood, Riverside Drive, and it was very co-ed. And I love the fact that the guys and the girls took on each other's teams and got our hockey sticks out and played hockey, and we skated and we tobogganed down Dr. Tony Blanchard's hill. God love his heart. He has this great big beautiful home near where we grew up, and it has three rolling hills. And they were so kind as to let us to toboggan on their lawn because, it was kind of wrecking it up.
It would.
But the times we had on that hill, I'll never forget that.
Well, we actually have had a brook running through our yard. So we would clean that off and we would skate up and down on the brook right in our very own yard. We didn't have to go far, right? And the same with, I do remember the toboggans. That's what they were. That and crazy carpets.
Crazy carpets were woohoo.
Those were the two number one things.
Fun.
The great thing about toboggans is you could pile every kid in the neighborhood on it.
Yes.
I don't know how many was legally allowed on it, but we would put as many as we possibly could.
Those were good days.
They were.
And snow fights.
Snow fights.
There's one guy down the street named Derek. I'm sure that I must have
She's going to name
some
him.
Fractures in my face due to him, and he knows it. But good old winter fashion days. I wish that the kids would enjoy them, like that we used to.
Exactly. That's just it. So that was fantastic. We've got a great show lined up. We have a guest joining us next, actually Honorable Mayor Adam Lordon.
Nice,
so don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat after the break. Welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with Judy Loge, and joining us is our first guest today, the Honorable Mayor Adam Lordon. Hello.
Well, hello, ladies.
Welcome.
Pleasure to be back.
You are here with your busy schedule. We really appreciate your time and effort
thanks
to
so much
making
for
our
stopping
show
in.
special.
Well, it's always a great chance to catch up with you, ladies, and of course, all of your viewers too. So
thank you for
thank
being
you
here.
so much for being here. We have lots to talk about that we want to chit chat with you about. Everything that's happening in this city right here, right now. Is there something in particular we're going to start off with? We're going to start off with the Startup program.
Startup Miramichi.
Startup Miramichi, which is
right.
an entrepreneurship program that's happening here.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Well, it's like you said, there's always so much going on. There's always lots to talk about. I thought this would be a great place to start because, of course, we were all at the Women of Influence Gala on Saturday evening. And a big part of what they do is, of course, support and recognize local female entrepreneurs in the community.
Exactly.
And as you probably recall, I'm one of the board members on MyPie as well, the Young Professional and Entrepreneur Group.
So that means I couldn't belong to that, is what you're trying to say.
Oh, well,
it's young entrepreneurs.
we don't put a cap on the age, so everybody's welcome.
But it's great to have that young generation. Lovely to have that group of 20 to 30-year-olds and a little bit above.
Well, it's great for these groups to have a specific support system, right?
Exactly.
So if you're a younger person and you're thinking about opening a business, maybe it's a little bit more
scary.
Intimidating.
It is,
right?
Very.
And it was worth noting Saturday night, as President Whitney Price of Women Network mentioned. So both the Women Network and MyPie are celebrating their 10th anniversaries this year.
Can't believe that.
Both founded by Nadine Duguay when she was unfortunately no longer in Miramichi, but when she was here. And so we see now a decade-long legacy of both these groups.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
And Startup Miramichi is sort of along the same vein. So there's a national organization called Startup Canada.
There is.
And it's a network that's designed to be like a network of local startup groups. So throughout New Brunswick, a couple of years ago, we launched Startup Miramichi. There are several others around the province too, and so it's just another group. It's actually led by entrepreneurs. So I'm involved with the group as the mayor, but also as an entrepreneur myself.
Right.
And each of the local startup groups gets to identify what their priorities will be. So here in Miramichi right now, what we're working on is establishing a co-working and incubation startup space. So that's something you see in Fredericton and St. John and Moncton. Sackville has one as well. Bathurst has one. So these are areas where if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow a business or start a business, but also if you're just a self-employed entrepreneur and maybe you can't afford a whole office for yourself, but you don't want to be working at home for whatever reason, or maybe you can't. So a co-working space is where you basically pay a membership fee, kind of like a gym. And then you are a member, so you can come to the center anytime you'd like. You can use that. There are desk spaces, there's printer, a kitchenette that you can use, and then you can also rent out any of the boardrooms or meeting rooms. So if you need to entertain clients or conferences. So it's basically a centralized location for entrepreneurs. And then part of that will, of course, be that there'll be a centralized, we call it resource bank of information if you're wanting to start a business or grow a business, where there might be funding available to you. Maybe there's mentorship opportunities. So we consider it'll be a visible hub for entrepreneurship, a physical hub for entrepreneurship in the Miramichi.
So has this been a project that's been under a while? Like, have you modeled after other cities and then gotten together, like you said, locally with your own members and said, we want to do this too? Has it been a long time in the making?
Well, absolutely, yeah. It's been a few months in the making now, and this project is being led by Clarissa Harris-LeBreton. And if you know Clarissa through the Oasis program at NBCC, so she's really passionate about entrepreneurship as well. And so we've been working behind the scenes because we had to build the business plan, and right now we're working to secure some of the startup financing. But it looks like we will be open very early in the new year.
Isn't that wonderful?
And so we'll be taking members and inviting people into the space. We'll have a big launch event too, so we'll make sure you ladies get invited.
That is very good news.
We think we know that part of the growth and one of the main backbones of our local economy is small business and entrepreneurship. So the more we can support local small business owners and entrepreneurs and help them to grow, whether it's 2 and 5 jobs at a time, that's a big part of making sure that the economy is strong in the community.
And it's also going to be great for people that are entertaining the thought of moving back to Miramichi and setting up business to come home, to come back, get their degree, get their trade, whatever business certification, then come and they know that they can be established and that you're going to be able to work within this program.
Well, one of the things I found really exciting about Saturday night at the Women Network event, well, 2 things really. One was the amount of people in the room that I did not know.
Really?
Which usually means that those are people that are engaging in the community really for the first time, because we're often, the 3 of us, out and around. We see some of the same faces, which is great. great.
and over.
But when
But
we
there was
see
a lot of new faces.
New faces,
Yeah.
that means those are new people getting engaged
Into business,
into
entrepreneurs.
business, and especially the amount of young women I saw there.
Yeah,
And we know
wasn't
that
us.
they're,
No, well, it might
they're
have been.
moving and shaking, and they're starting businesses,
Yeah.
and they've got ideas.
Isn't it
and
exciting?
So I mean, just to see so many new faces engaging in the community and in business in the community, it's just such a great thing.
Well,
Dynamic
programs
people.
like this are huge because when I was looking, like there's so many people out there. I was contemplating starting my own business for years and had to do the research. And if something like this had been available to me back then, maybe I would have started sooner.
Right.
Had I felt like I had that kind of support and backing and place where I could get the information I needed to get things up and running sooner. I had to pick away at that information myself and find it out while working and trying to put all that together to start it. So these are fantastic.
So you can see the value in what they're doing
Definitely.
and how, what an asset
It's
that's
just
going to
knowing
be.
that this is your first place, your first stop, and your
Yes.
one-stop
Yeah.
shop to know
Wonderful.
where
Where you
all
can bring
those
your
other components
ideas
are.
and you
Yeah.
can get some guidance to where to start and how to get going.
So Mayor Lordon, you were just recently in Ottawa.
I was,
And tell us
yes.
about your experience and what your venture was in Ottawa.
Yes, well, I was there all for most of last week, which was really exciting. So kind of always a couple of hats up there, but so I was there because I'm one of the 3 New Brunswick board members or representatives on the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, which is a national organization for cities and towns and municipalities of all sizes across Canada.
One
so
of 3.
one of 3 New Brunswick board
That's
members.
beautiful.
Yeah, and we represent over 2,000 municipalities and 90% of the Canadian population.
That's amazing.
So each year, this group does this week in Ottawa called Advocacy Days. So all the board members, there's about 70 from across the country, take meetings with MPs and senators to try to create awareness for municipal issues and trying to advance some of the items that are important to municipalities across Canada. So that was a lot of fun. That was my first time taking part in that event, and we met with 3 New Brunswick MPs and 2 New Brunswick senators, including David Adams-Richards
Oh,
from
nice.
Miramichi.
Wonderful.
And we also had, we were invited as the New Brunswick reps to a meeting with Minister Dominic LeBlanc, who of course is a New Brunswick's minister, but one of the bigger ministers in the federal government,
Yes.
along with the national president of our association who was there.
You're so well spoken and so knowledgeable in so many areas. Did you have an opportunity to speak a lot to this group on your own? Did you have time?
Well, I did take an opportunity while I was there to book a meeting as the mayor of Miramichi
Yes.
with our MP, Pat Finnegan, and with the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Infrastructure.
Okay.
So I was able to present, because the Minister of Infrastructure has changed since we submitted
Yes.
the application
That's
for
right.
funding for
For
the
the
Wellness Multiplex in
Right.
April. So this was a chance to meet the new minister and the new parliamentary secretary and renew their understanding of the project. So reminding
Exactly.
them the business case and why it's so important to our
Yes.
community that this project move forward. So that was a great opportunity to speak on some local
Yes.
issues while I was there with a national perspective, I guess.
So that was all week you're in Ottawa.
Yeah, and I just got back. I got back Friday evening and was able though to make it Saturday to the finals of the Travelers curling
Yes.
event that was
Yes,
happening in
that
the
was
community
happening
all
here, too.
week, and phenomenal success. They think
Curling's huge.
over $1 million of economic impact.
Beautiful.
There was
Perfect.
26 teams from across the country, over 100 participants.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It
it
was
is.
really, and everybody was raving about how well Miramichi did as a host.
I was so
That's
proud that we
fantastic.
hosted that. That was huge,
Exactly.
men's and women's curling.
That's right, and I was hearing from some of the Miramichi Curling Club representatives and volunteers that there are many of the teams already planning to come back for vacations.
Oh, you're
Good.
kidding.
There was a gentleman from BC who said he wants to move here.
What?
So
Oh, you're kidding.
really
Isn't
positive,
that positive?
outcomes
And you have to
from
say a big
Fantastic.
shout out to Sean Ingersoll, right? He
to
is
Sean
the
and his
chairman,
team,
right?
and over 150 volunteers.
Wow, well, there,
to do
I
that
appreciate
event.
That's
volunteers as you
fantastic.
do,
So
and
definitely,
you do. We
yes.
couldn't do anything without them.
No,
Well,
exactly.
That's probably a great segue, I think, Andre,
Yes.
into I don't know how we are on time, but
think
yeah,
we're good.
no, we're
one
good.
of the things we wanted to make sure we talked about was every year on New Year's
Right.
Day, as a mayor and the council, we have, of course, the Mayor's New Year's Levy, which invites the community to celebrate ringing in the new year with myself and with council. We'll have some more details on where that will be this year
Okay.
shortly. But one of the other things we do is acknowledge community volunteers. So right now, in order to acknowledge people on New Year's Day, we need
nominations.
So our nominations for our community volunteer awards are now open.
Okay.
So their nominations are going to be accepted until December 7th.
Nominations until December 7th. Okay.
And their nomination forms are available at the front desk of City Hall.
Okay.
And also online.
It is online.
On the city's website, miramichi.org.
How many would you say would receive this award typically? Is there a cap on it?
Well, you know, the last couple of years we really we want to acknowledge as many people as we can.
Okay.
So we will acknowledge. I think it's usually between 10 and 15.
Oh, that many.
So what we'll do is hopefully we'll get that many volunteer. I know last year, because it was Canada 150. We had a lot of people apply, and I think we had close to 15 recognized.
Volunteerism and recognition of volunteers is so crucial to our community because we are so well known for it that I could sit there and make a huge list of people that I think are worthy of that.
Well, please do. And
I will, and I have, and they've received them. And I myself received it, I think, the first year ever when I was just a fairly young woman, because I've been volunteering since I was a child, and I think I was the only woman. It was all men. So I really felt like a woman of influence that year.
Well,
it was wonderful.
As you are. I mean, you know, I think last year we had, I can't remember the numbers, but there was a lot of women. And
I love that.
Women have been volunteering in the community for so long and are such an instrumental part of that, right? And oftentimes they carry so much of that load without even realizing that they're doing it.
That's so true.
And so we have to make sure we recognize them. And
definitely.
And so I would encourage people to submit their nominations.
Definitely.
And
we'll definitely do that.
And you know, encourage everybody to come out for the levy as well, of course.
I love it.
Yeah, I also want to bring up the downtown project plan. That's something else we want to touch on and let everybody know what's going on there.
Well, I'm really thrilled about the downtown redevelopment plan. So,
and we're talking both ends of the city.
That's it, both downtowns. So this is really a passion for me, and one of the main reasons I got involved, I guess, put myself forward for council in the first place was seeing the potential in our downtowns and on our waterfronts and thinking, you know, we need to have a plan, we need to have a strategy. And there are experts out there who know all the tips and tricks, right? And how you can best attract development and how you can best grow your downtown in a very strategic way. So we've hired a group of consultants. Good. And there's two parts to the plan. So one is the vision, which is coming from the community and coming from the public. And the second piece, of course, is the policy. So once we know what we want our downtowns to look like, you know, this is the expert advice and the policy and the plans that will get us there. So the vision piece has been going on throughout the fall. So there were open public meetings in both downtowns for the community to come out and share their ideas, share what they'd like to see, whether that's, you know, in the public park spaces, the type of shops that they'd like to see, the waterfront.
Well, that's just it. That's the first thing that's running through my mind is you want to bring in, is it for businesses, and we also want to bring people, the tourists, to come in
and enjoy our city
right?
as best they
can. We want to attract both.
Of course, and tourism is more and more a very important part of our local economy, and we're focusing a lot on building up tourism products as well. As it relates to building up the downtown, in terms of redevelopment, it's, I guess, as a city, how do we want to invest our public dollars in whether it's the parks or they call it the public realm, so the sidewalks and the streets that create the conditions for private investment. So on the private investment side, it's new businesses for sure. One of the other big pieces is downtown residential. So our community really does not have that many residential units in the downtown.
No, they
in
do
particular, the multi-unit buildings, and more and more people want to live that way.
I can see.
Yeah, they want to be close to amenities. If they don't have a vehicle, they want to be able to suit up.
And so we've seen some of that development around the community, which is a good thing. But what we'd like to do is try to focus some of that into the downtowns.
Into those areas.
Because one of the goals for people that would like to live in that kind of an environment is that they want want to be downtown so that they don't have to own a car.
I was just going to say,
So
Right.
it's a big thing to own a car and pay insurance and gas.
It's a big expense,
and
right?
Exactly.
And
It
whether
is.
you're a retiree or maybe you're a young professional who's moved to Miramichi to work at the Pay
True.
Center, if located in the right environment, you
don't need
can
a-
walk to get your groceries, you could walk to work,
Yeah.
and you don't need a car, which saves you a huge expense and takes another car off the road.
That's such an
too,
ideal
so.
situation
Exactly.
for sure.
But I would have to say, devil's advocate kind of thing, we don't have the most beautiful weather to be walking and going and doing all of that, icy sidewalks, different things like that. So I would think those things would have to be taken into consideration as well. If you're going to put
Absolutely.
dwellings in a place where they're not going to need a vehicle, well then as far as sidewalks and roads and access to those have to be looked
The
after.
taxi business could go up. There could be.
We could have taxis.
we could get a new cab service for a
That's
minimal,
another
a
business.
You're
minimal
absolutely right,
rate.
Audrey, and like bike lanes, for example, are part of the
Yes.
conversation too. So it's just about, we've never had a dedicated strategy or plan for the growth of our downtown.
For
Happy
things like
to
that.
hear this.
And so some people are looking for different things than were there in the past. And generally speaking, especially the waterfronts, there was an industrial presence there for a lot of years.
Right.
And now
Yes,
across
there was, yeah.
communities across the country, really, we're seeing these waterfronts being transformed from industrial use to recreation and community use.
Like
So-
Halifax, for example. Halifax waterfront's a great example.
Okay,
yeah.
well, we're out of time for you again today.
It's
I'm
been a
afraid.
pleasure,
It's
though,
been a
because
pleasure.
you're
It's
so
always a
animated
pleasure.
so
and you're
much.
so full of joy and plans
Yeah.
and
Enthusiasm
excitement for our
is-
city
is
that you're the
definitely-
Well,
representation of
and,
Mayor
makes a
Lordon.
and so are
difference.
you both, and I thank you for all that you do on this show for helping spread the word about all the things happening in the
We
community.
try.
Yeah, we
We
do.
try to do our
Spread the
best.
word. That's what we do.
Keep on doing what you're doing. You're fine, Mayor.
Well, thank you, you as well.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with more Have a Chat after the break. Don't go away. And welcome back to Have a Chat. We have more show coming right up for you. We have our next guest joining us, Melissa Rayburn, who is a local artist here in Miramichi. Hello, Mel. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Yes. Well, thanks for
Wait.
joining us today.
No problem.
I was after her for a while.
Were you?
Well, I know
Stalking
her,
her?
skill, stalking her and saying, we have to have you on to show people what exactly, we have so much talent, but she's sheer talent. So
Okay.
we have
so-
to embrace that and share with
Yeah.
other people your gifts.
Well, you obviously know Mel already, but for those viewers out there who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
I'll try.
Okay.
I'm from St. John originally. I had kids right out of high school and did the stay-at-home mom
Mom
thing
thing.
for a long time, and I always drew on the side,
Okay.
kind of thing. And
how many children? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, 4.
4
Yeah.
children
Yes.
out of high school, like you started having babies.
Yeah, pretty
Wow.
much. Well, I had them all by 26.
Wahoo!
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about it at 26. I wasn't even married at 26. Good for you.
Well, we get it out of the way.
That's
so.
nice.
Yes.
But now they're, the oldest one's going to give me a grandchild in the end of February.
My, gonna be grandma.
So, I mean, once they grow, they still
Yes.
keep giving to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
Over and
amazing.
over.
Yeah.
So you're now here in Miramichi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a local artist, as you know, Audrey, but for those
Yes.
who don't know, I think I have a few questions. So when did you start drawing?
Pretty much since I can remember, really, because I mean, well, my mother said I drew things my dad would hang up in the shop and stuff
Oh.
like that, so I must have always done it. But I guess I kind of realized I had a knack for it, maybe in
Is-
my preteens, probably.
Is it an innate skill? Like I
Because
don't
in
think.
school there is an art class.
Well,
There is-
yeah.
they
And I was
teach
probably the
art.
worst art student that ever went through any school because I can't draw anything. I could maybe draw a face. I shouldn't say that. I could draw a face, but it wouldn't be a pretty face. I don't think
Oh.
she looked
Yeah,
too
no,
good.
I
She
don't
probably had
draw.
one eye up here and one eye somewhere
Yeah.
down here.
Well, yeah, and
It's
I
an
mean,
innate gift, I would say.
if you saw my pictures that I started with, which I don't have, thank goodness, it probably would be a first try of a face for anyone. But I mean, after 35-ish years of constant drawing and
perfecting.
Yeah. So
have
I mean,
you taken courses or classes?
No, I've taken a few like workshops,
Right.
just different ones, and I took one in Moncton, and I've got so many friends that are artists that you can just kind of we all lean on each other kind of and sound off it on each other and things like that.
So you're saying that art comes with practice and the love for it. You have to be devoted to it.
The love is natural, I think, for me, but, and I do have an eye, but I think that it can be taught to anybody.
You really do? You think there's hope for me?
Yep.
Because there's different areas of art. There's pencil, there's, you know what I mean? There's charcoal,
watercolors,
there's definitely
oil
the painting.
paint.
Like when you say artist, that's actually, it's a pretty broad, right?
Yeah.
With the tools in which they use in order to create their artistry.
And and I like to try as many as I can. Every year I try to do something new. I've been working on markers and not doing the best with those yet, but I'm still working at it.
Yeah.
Fine markers. Like fine tip markers, is that what you're?
Any kind of marker really, but I like micron really small tipped. I use them a little in some of my art to get really, really fine details down because I use chalk and it's messy and it blends and it smudges, and I pretty much smudge the entire thing out. I draw a little and I smudge it all out.
And until I met Melissa, I didn't really know much about chalk art. Is this something that's been around for a while?
Yeah, well, it's chalk pastels is what they're called. They're soft pastels. Somebody called them Cant chalk, but it's just really, really deeply pigmented chalk.
Beautiful. I've seen your work.
I've had when I was in New York with my girlfriends, and there was a man on the street, and he had a very soft, and he would do your
caricature, or your actual like a fun face, or your actual picture.
No, and that's what it was. But you had to put a little thin piece of plastic over it because if you touched it, it
smudge.
It smudges.
Could you do that just off the cuff? Like if you saw me on the side of the street, or
character?
Audrey, could you do a face, or would that take is that something that's not your bag?
I could, but not to that level. Because I mean, that takes what I do takes it's tedious.
You have amazing skill. Can we look at some of your pictures?
Yes.
So you focus, Melissa, on people or groups or animals, or what's your favorite?
My favorite to draw is dogs.
Dogs?
I love animals. I draw animals. That's my favorite. But I also like drawing faces, human hair, things like that,
and making it look real.
Trying my best. Yeah,
she does. And I must bring my dog in for a photo session, and she could sit there, and I could look at her and say, "Sit," and you could take hours and hours to draw.
If she can sit for hours, I can draw her.
Do you prefer to do like still, or would you do something like that? Would you prefer to do it from a photograph?
I usually work from photos. Well, most of my commissions aren't even from Miramichi. I get a lot of orders online and through Instagram and Twitter and just different things.
Logos, don't you design logos?
I got FM Berlin, a band from Moncton.
FM Berlin?
Yeah, they're awesome. They're amazing. Everybody up here loves them.
Okay.
Anyway, they sought me out to create a logo and some album artwork, and I'm working on things I can't show, but I have.
Yeah, we definitely want to see some of your work.
Do they give you the idea, or do you have to brainstorm something for them?
Well, I kind of asked Corey, he's the lead singer, kind of what he wanted, and he gave me ideas, and then we just kind of tweaked it as back and forth on Facebook.
Nice. Yeah. That's a big project.
And I still have the original here, so anyway, that's from a single that...
A palm tree within a cage.
Yeah, well, it's for the single that they did was called Ransom.
A ransom.
So it's kind of going for
we're doing the camera over there, sweetie.
Sorry.
So here we go. We're gone here. So is this good?
There we go.
And then you want to flip over to some more, Melissa. Like, let's lay this down so we know what we're looking at.
They're not usually upright like that.
Okay. Now, here is another one we're going to show.
And so there's the marker artwork. There is their logo. They have 3 different ones that they're using.
And look at the face.
And that's my face.
I can't get over the twisted smile.
That's
the accuracy.
Not in chalk, that one. That one's in pencil crayon.
The expression. Let's hold up this one of a band.
So that's Flea from, that's Kendra Gale, the Kendra Gale Band. She's from St. Andrews.
Yes.
Very, very strong singer.
Stunning. And what did you do for that artwork? What is that done with?
That's chalk pastel.
Oh, that is the chalk pastel.
Yep. Pretty much
so
all
that's
of
why
this
they're sealed, because you can't touch them.
Yeah. I mean, you can put your finger in and touch if you want, and you can see how
Look at our beloved Matilda Murdoch. Now let's see her. I'm going to go over here.
Oh,
Look
there
at
you go.
our well-known, famous local fiddler, Matilda Murdoch, one of our legendary women. She's pretty incredible on the fiddle.
Oh, yeah.
Did her family did you do that on your own, or did they ask you to do that?
No, I just did it. I did a bunch of 506 artists. I still work on it, actually. There's a bunch missing because I donated a few.
This is my favorite because I love Sir Anthony Hopkins, and I don't know, but you capture the intensity and the look in the eyes. Like, I can't believe it.
The glare.
How am I straighten this up?
I like to go for creepy.
So you again, pastel chalk?
Yep.
Done with that as well?
It's unbelievable.
I think pretty much the rest is,
Look at this
So
guy.
is that one of your favorite?
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie from the movie Carrie.
Look at that. So
That's
Sissy's
insane.
basic.
Yeah.
You're like
your artwork comes off. It looks three-dimensional.
They're looking through you.
I do it in several parts, depending if there's a lot of
my
color. Yeah, if there's a lot of color, that's a good example,
Do
actually.
you have?
I'll do a base color, and then draw on that. The chalk is awesome because you can draw on it again and again and again.
Yeah. Oh,
it builds on itself.
So are you into Halloween and into scary horror?
Halloween, yeah.
Okay. I'm getting a theme with this artwork.
Well, that was last year. I did a Halloween series. So that was that. Like I was going through those and.
Oh my! Look at Tom Cruise.
Oh, don't show me the other one. The other one
Look
I
at
don't
Tom
want to see.
Cruise. Look at that. You know, I think if I'm going to pick out any one particular thing that you are amazing at, it's the eyes. It's all fantastic, but the eyes they're right through you. How do you capture the soul? What's the gift? How do you do that?
I don't know. I just kind of
like.
It's
so when you look at a photograph, you see details that us who are not artists, like us with the naked eye, do not see. You are able to see a lot more detail, obviously, to be able to pull that from a photo, because a photo is.
Wow.
Well, I'll take a photo and I'll have my laptop and I'll blow it right up and I'll just go little bit by little bit, and generally I'll either work from the eye out or from the left to the right, depending. If it's a black and white, I'll work from left to right because it's messy.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Melissa, what setting do you require to do your art? Because as musicians or writers, they will have to find their spot. Like I have a friend from Toronto that's a writer. He'll go to Las Vegas and he'll put himself into a fancy room there and quiet. He needs quiet and he needs the ambiance of Vegas to be able to write for some reason.
That's exactly what I do.
No. Where do you find your
Straight to Vegas every time.
To think and be creative?
It kind of comes up anywhere. I do my art in my living room. I have a drawing board there. I can draw anywhere, but the chalk is powdery, dusty, messy.
So you like to be on that tilted surface?
I like to have it at least partially done before I'll take it somewhere else because it'll be a mess.
Yes.
But I mean, I'll walk my dog and I'll think of things and I'll just tell my cell phone and remember it later. Just weird things. Weird sayings will come up and I'll just write them down in a book, and it could be just the strangest thing, and we'll have a doodle. My kids give me ideas a lot too.
Okay.
Have you been asked to do anything really out of this world or strange or request?
I'm drawing Freddie Mercury right now.
And
Elton John too.
Oh, you're
Elton
doing
John is one for me, but I'll sell it, I suppose. But I'm drawing it just for fun. But the Freddie Mercury is a commission. That's going to be fun because he's going to have 3 different poses.
He has a unique look about him and character.
Totally.
I just seen the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get to
Bohemian
see it?
Rhapsody.
Well, I was excited because I thought, I should draw him because I had just seen it too, and somebody messaged me and
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's something. You have to get that mouth captured just the way he was. The structure.
Lots of celebrities all the time.
I commissioned her to do art for my sister and her husband's wedding.
Oh, you're kidding.
I gave them a photo of Jennifer and Matt's engagement picture.
Right.
And as a wedding gift, we presented her with one of her portraits of them as an engagement picture. And they were absolutely in love with it. It was a unique idea. And now they have it up in their wall, and they look at it every day, and it reminds them of their love. And anything else?
Are you able to change a photograph and add something to it if the people are like, well, this is what we want?
That's usually what I do, yeah. People, Well, I mean, especially if it's a professional photo, because everyone has them already, but maybe
Right.
they might want, you know, the hair fixed or
Or-
want to add
yeah.
a person in that couldn't be there.
And you
or,
can do that.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
kind of, I'll just put, well, I have an example actually
Perfect.
of,
We
I can
love
just
examples.
I'll go and I'll creep Facebook and I'll grab things from different
Mm-hmm.
places. I could be commissioned or not, and I'll just kind
Right.
of search these people to get their
I
faces.
I love to commission Melissa. She's just
Yeah, and
fabulous.
Actually, I have these ideas running through my head right as I'm
You
thinking
do?
there now. Yeah,
Right
I
on.
have an old photograph of my mom's only sister who passed away when she was 2, and a professional photo would have been done of her back in the day where
Yeah.
it was black and white, and then they would have added color to the cheeks or something like that. But I have these 2 photos that I would love to have them merged to make one. They're the only ones that exist. That's who I'm named after. It's my
I love the name
namesake.
Audrey.
Me too.
You're kidding.
It always makes me
Beautiful.
think of Little Shop of Horrors.
Audrey's a beautiful
Yeah.
name.
Audrey too.
It's very, very pretty.
That's
I
just
asked
it.
Melissa to do
I would
something
love.
for me as a surprise.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to illustrate what I meant by I can just
Okay.
kind of grab things from everywhere. And
Okay.
I gave her
and
an
create.
idea
Stick
and
them
I
together.
said, run with it. So then I'm
Okay.
excited to see what she ran with
Oh, you
and
don't know?
what
So
she
just-
ran to us with today.
give you an idea.
Okay.
I'll stick this here, right here. So
Oh my goodness!
That's
amazing! I love it.
So
there
the
you
my
Have a
goodness.
chat, girls.
Oh,
Look
for
at
goodness
that.
sakes! That
I'm
is
so crooked.
fabulous.
Too bad
Veronique
Veronique isn't
and
here.
Audrey
Aw.
and Judy, the hosts of Have a Chat. Now, how amazing
That
is that?
is stunning. Now, what did you use for that?
Chalk.
It is
Yeah.
chalk. I am just in awe that she's using chalk for all of that. I want to put my glasses on.
Okay,
now
how do I get
and
this
take a-
straight now? In my house, everything's straight, but on the camera, I can't
Oh,
get it straight.
oh, I'm the
This
wrong person to ask.
Okay,
Right,
that's
there we
pretty
go.
incredible. Look at that. And the
Oh my
framing and the
goodness.
matting. Is it hard to choose like what complements the whole
All
setting of
different
it?
things.
Oh,
That
Really,
is so
I
lovely.
buy whenever I see frames or matting or anything like that on sale or canvases that are different, I'll just grab everything, and I can always pick from something.
I just
Yeah.
love it. I'm
Fabulous.
excited about that. And I have to find the right spot to
No,
put
exactly,
that.
to hang that up. And we have a couple of minutes left, Mel. We'd love to see what other things that you had brought.
Well, it was my partner's birthday recently, so I did it Gary Carter for him.
That's his
Oh,
number
that's
one
wow.
sports figure.
Yep, he was
Isn't
at
that gorgeous?
Montreal Expo.
So you hang it right inside that box. Look how
That's
she's
like a
framed
shadow box.
this, a shadow box. Don't we love it?
I love that idea.
Wow. Good thing I'm not Vanna White on TV trying to hold up things.
No, you'd be fired.
I'd have the
I'm
letters
sorry.
upside down.
Now, do you have a Facebook page or website? How are we going to get a hold of you if we want to
This is
see your work and to
Love
commission
this.
you for some work?
Well, I'm found on Facebook. You can just look up Mel Rayburn Art Guy. I'm the art guy. If you
The art
Why did you
guy.
go with Guy?
well, because men get paid more.
Oh, I love it.
So I don't exactly say
Yeah.
I'm a man,
Don't
but
you
if
love
they
it?
don't know I'm a girl, I've thrown a couple people off.
You're thinking outside the box.
Well,
And
There's
then
nothing
artists
wrong with
always
that.
do.
and you know a guy. You can just
Yeah.
say that whenever, oh, I know a guy.
No,
Yeah,
well, I'm
that's
so
just
proud.
it.
Isn't
Was there
this
something
gorgeous?
else you wanted to show
I'll
us?
just
Definitely.
get into the.
Before we go, we almost
have
Yes,
it.
I'm so pleased with this. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
I've been working on things where there's marker and chalk. Because,
Okay,
chalk.
okay.
because of the small details, I'm trying to make
Be able to do both.
teeny tiny
Mm-hmm.
little drawings. I'm drawing a rap series
Oh.
right now.
Okay, and that's what these gentlemen
Just
here look like
different,
there.
yeah. Some from my day and some from my kids listen to
Right.
them too.
So when you
the,
do-
the current one, so there's Missy Elliott from way back in the day. Well, she's still
Perfect.
actually active, and then there's
She is active.
Trippie Redd, who is a new rapper, for instance.
Do
But
you use music to inspire you?
yeah, I'll listen to their albums and their songs while I'm drawing them.
Goodness. So you have some of your pictures on your Facebook page so people can see your artwork?
All of
Everything
it's on
is there?
and my website's on there,
Wow.
everything like that.
That is
This is
fantastic.
special.
Thank you so
I'm
much,
so excited
Mel,
about this.
Thank you.
for joining us.
No problem. Thank
we'll
you for
have
having
you
me.
back when you do Freddie Mercury.
Oh my gosh,
We'd
yeah.
love to see it.
Well, I'll have to show you a
Definitely.
picture.
Okay.
Good
Thank
job.
you so much for joining us here at Have a Chat today. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you again next
you.
week.
See you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.